Hey traders, Daniel here with improveyourtrades.com. And once again, I'm joined by my dad, Peter. Say hello, Dad.
Hey, everybody.
And once again, we are going to be discussing, different stocks and what we think will happen to these different stocks in the next 30 days or so, just like we normally talk about as father and son, but hopefully you share some insight into our thought process. And maybe you could learn something and maybe possibly improve your trades. Let's get the disclaimer out of the way real quick. The information shared on this YouTube channel is for informational purposes only. It's not financial advice. Always do your own research and consult a qualified advisor before investing. We do not guarantee accuracy and are not responsible for any losses incurred. Please trade responsibly. All right, with that being said, I have improveyourtrades.com/resources pulled up on the screen. The links are in the description below. You could use this resources page on our website, to find tools, platforms, data analysis, and all that good stuff. So check that out. Okay, with that being said, Dad, let's jump into our first stock of the day.
Let's go to a something that everybody has in their wallet, usually a credit card. Let's go with Visa,
Visa,
the
V,
letter
right?
V.
Yeah,
Yep, just V.
there we go. Oh, wait, hold on. It pulled up the option chain again. I have to pick V, and then, okay. All right, whatever.
There it is.
Is it still
That's
showing
it.
the option? Okay,
No,
no, that's fine. All right.
no, it's common stop.
So it's 284.
284.
Okay. All right, so real quick, we'll show the 1 year chart right here. Click right here. 1 year looks really good. Bar chart has a 100% strong buy. I'll scroll down. We have the analysts. Most analysts are saying to strong buy 19, and then price performance for the month you have 3%. For the quarter you have up 8%, and for the year you have up 32%. So, Dad, what's your thoughts on this?
On the reason I selected this stock for today's showing was, I mean, this stock has reached an all-time high of 284 from a nice foundation of 200 to 240. It broke out and now it's gone up another $40. It seemed like everybody using a credit card to survive nowadays with their inflation. That's why I'm sure their earnings have improved. This one here, I wonder if this stock can go any higher. And the way it's looking like it's hit some resistance here at the 284, 290 mark. And I'm looking at to kind of retrace back a little bit down to 260. I think it's gone up a little bit too far, too
Yeah,
fast.
that's a good idea. I like that. I like that level right there.
And that
Um,
260, if it was to come back down to 260, then that would be a good buying opportunity for all of
yeah,
us.
yeah, yep. Okay. Let's jump over to FinViz and see what's going on with FinViz. By the way, here's what the market looks like today. The Dow up nothing, the NASDAQ up nothing or down nothing.
Down
Right,
nothing.
it's flat today. Okay, so V Visa on FinViz, again, same chart, but zoomed in and, just amazing looking chart. But man, when's it going to end? Like my dad said. So, let's look at earnings right here. Okay, they haven't announced earnings yet, which is probably, another month or so. Go down, no major analyst upgrades or downgrades here. Not a lot of news. Again, usually when you look at news, you'll see like a wall of, news articles if it's an earnings day or something, but you could see like, there's two articles yesterday, an article the day before, that's nothing.
No.
Scroll down, insider trading, lots of selling across the board right now, as people are taking profits. So, because again, and this is just across the market, right? Like everyone's just selling a little bit and taking their profits. So, what's
Well,
your
like on
thoughts after seeing all this, Dad?
well, like on here, there's great support at 230. From 230, it just launched up all the way to 284. So this one here, I look for it to retrace back to about 262, 265, and that's where you had support level before it went back up to 284. So I look for this stock to retrace back about 10%.
Yeah. And it does look like it's right at that peak, it's right at the all-time high, and it looks like it's, starting to struggle a little bit, but who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah, who knows? It does look, pretty trending. What do you think about a year from now? Usually we talk about 30 days out, but what do you think about this stock a year from now? Do you think it would come back down? Because again, it went up so far in the last year. Do you think it could come down
I
to this to
No,
this
that's a
range, like the 250,
great
240,
question,
you know?
Daniel. I think, yeah, I think it's going to come back down and test the 230 lows. But right now, with high interest rates, they're making money on very high interest rates. So if you have a credit card, you know what that means. So as interest rates come down, hopefully those rates will come down, and that will reduce their earnings. So I would see the stock to retrace back to maybe the 230, 240, and like I said, about a year from now.
Yeah. Can I look at MasterCard real quick? That's not one of your other
Sure.
stocks, right?
No, it's not.
Okay. Where's MasterCard?
MA.
There you go. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I used to follow Visa, not MasterCard as much. But yeah, same looking chart, you know, so
Same looking. I mean, it's gone up. Look at this one. It started at 360 and launched up from 360. It's gone up
yeah.
over 100 points.
Yeah, this one feels like more volatile a little bit. You know, it's
It
like
is
more, yeah, it exploded a lot more than Visa did. And if you click here on credit services, that'll take you to like the credit services sector. Then you could click on charts here, and you could see different credit services charts in the last year. So look at this. I mean, credit, you know, across the board, you know, AGM, Ally, like these things are just, you know, again, from November, just going up, but some are going down. So, you know, it's not guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed
correct.
in the stock market. All right. What's the second one?
Let's go to something that's in the news with their airplanes falling apart. Boeing, BA. I
Yeah.
mean,
BA,
so
right?
BA.
Why is this so hard to use
I
sometimes? I
know
swear.
sometimes it just
It
goes,
like,
go
okay, there we
capital
go.
B. There it is.
Yeah. It like gave me futures by default. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll have
exactly.
to send them an email or something. Um, okay, 1 year chart for Boeing. Yeah, look at that. Just, I mean, you know, just a bad, you know, a
I
couple
mean,
months for Boeing.
great. I mean, a great little cycle there from mid-October to beginning of the year. And then literally the plane started falling apart. And of
Yeah.
course, that's bad news for a stock. That's bad for public perception. And people who own the stock started selling immediately. It
Yeah.
looks like,
Yeah.
so that's that high of that high of 260 has crashed down to 182 in a
Yeah.
matter of what, 30, 45 days.
Yep. And bar chart has a strong sell, 88% sell. And I just wonder, you know, about this. Let me zoom in right here, click on full chart. I just wonder why it took off so much. Where did it take off at? You said mid-October, right? So
Yeah,
mid-October through December, like, was it just travel? I mean, you know, all the holiday travel, I guess. But I mean, to take off that much, shouldn't that have been
exactly.
priced in a little bit, you know? So, or was it like the price of oil or something happening, or, you know?
Coming down in yeah, exactly. And there's some stocks that we could analyze it all we want, but we have no rhyme or reason why it did that. And then
Yeah,
for it to come down, we understand why it's come down so
right.
rapidly
Yeah.
because of their malfunctions of the airplanes.
Yeah. Once we jump over to FinViz on this one, I want to look at other airlines and see what the airline sector looked like, you know,
In fact,
from
that's my
October.
next
Yeah.
stock. Yeah, in
Okay.
fact, my next stock is going to be an airline stock. But
Okay.
yeah, let's go to FinViz and just see what that. Oh, let's go down a little further and
Yeah.
see what if the
Yep.
analysts are still recommending the stock.
Yep.
Wow.
So it's interesting because you have strong sell up here, 88%. And then when you come down here, the analysts are saying 13 strong buy. You know, everyone's saying mostly buy. And up here, bar chart saying mostly sell. So who
Correct.
knows? Again, it's like a fire sale right now. You know, yeah, it's down like this much, but I mean, if you really like Boeing, you know, it's at a discount, I guess. Um,
And I don't know if I would,
yeah, not for me.
be buying Boeing stock quite
You can
yet.
keep that one.
Yeah,
So okay, 1 month performance, minus 10%, minus 11%, for the quarter, minus 27%, and for the year, minus 10%. So let's jump over to FinViz, and then we said BA for Boeing. And as soon as I type it in, it'll give it to me. There you go. Kind of, you know, wishy-washy, up and down roller coaster of a chart. Earnings is probably in another month and a half or so. They have not announced their earnings date yet, obviously. Okay, so and then we have some downgrades by North Coast and then Bank of America Securities. And now see, you know, for example, on, you know, when you see some news happening, this is just today. All this right here is from today.
all
So you
today.
could come in here on FinViz and be like, you know, what's really going on with Boeing? And you could see the bull and the bear thesis on both of these. You know, you could read some articles where they're like, hey, stay away, it's terrible. And then some articles are like, no, it's on sale, you know, grab it up while you can. So Yeah. So then scroll down, not much insider trading at all. So
Let's go back up again. Right there at that, just before November, they released earnings, and it must have been a disappointment or a negative surprise by 8%. And even though they didn't meet the expectations of the analysts, the stock went up from
yeah,
that 182 all the way up to 260.
yeah,
So that's why everybody, including Daniel and myself, have to do research. If you're going to invest your hard-earned money into something, make sure that you check every possibility, every research website you could find.
yeah. And I think I can understand why people are saying to buy it because it's at the all-time low, for the last year. So it's like,
Even with bad earnings.
right. So and what's funny is now that we looked at earnings, I do remember when this like had terrible earnings, but then it just went completely against what people thought it was going to do. Because again, terrible earnings here, it was already falling, you know. So then they gave bad earnings and then it just went up. So nothing makes sense anymore. Let's click on, I just want to look real quick, the aerospace sector industry. Actually, let me go back. I want to be more specific. No, that's fine. Okay. Click on charts real quick and then just kind of see, yeah, lots of ups and downs and, no clear direction, I guess.
There's
Yeah.
no consistency in this sector.
Okay.
They are trending downward. There's probably more down
Yeah.
graphs or patterns than there
Yeah.
are up patterns.
Yes.
And that's kind of true for every sector. When a sector that you're investing in is going down, you could check other companies within that sector, and usually look like this are also going in the same pattern.
Yep.
So
Yes, usually, unless you have a weird stock or something.
exactly, that's making
Yeah.
money, and it has something that every consumer wants to buy.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Do you have anything else on this stock to
No,
discuss?
on this stock here, I still see it continuing going down lower than the 182. I don't think the selling is going to stop yet until Boeing comes out and tells everybody their plans on how to fix their airplanes.
Yeah, it says right here, unable to provide key information. So they're still trying to figure out why
They're
their
still trying
planes
to
are falling
figure
apart.
out
Hey,
why a door could, just open up in
let me
midair.
know when you get that fixed,
Exactly.
yeah. All right, so the next
So,
one.
and let's go to Southwest Airlines, LUV, Love, LUV.
Okay.
I mean, I was going to pick a major airlines, but I think the entire sector, we could look at the entire sector later on, they're all going to be trending in
Yeah,
the
they look
same
similar.
direction.
Yeah. This is a good one.
Yep.
So again, 1 year chart, same thing, down in October and then about what, beginning of November, it
It,
started taking off and
it took
now it
off.
had a
Yes,
big dip.
exactly.
Yeah. What did it have, like terrible earnings or something? Um,
Let's
yeah,
We'll check
let's
that with
look. So
Finviz.
weak sell, 8% sell. So and again, we're kind of like at the midway point. I guess if you were to draw a line in the sand and be like, okay, this is the midway, that's kind of where you're at. You're between the top and the bottom, so um and
And
then
a rule I read or learned a long time ago, when you look at a stock like that, and the stock was at 20 and it goes up to 40 and it starts to retrace back, if it goes below 50% of that retracement, then it's going to continue downward. If it was to go to 20 and it goes to 40 and it stops at 30, only loses 10%, if it loses more than 50%, it's going to continue in that same pattern. If it does not, then it's going to, get support and it's going to go up higher. This one here looks like it's going to continue to go downward, but we'll check the analysts and see what the analysts are
yeah,
thinking.
we'll see. Most are saying hold.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
okay, 1 month performance down 13% for the quarter, down 3%, and for the year we are down 9%. So about the same as Boeing. Boeing was down 10% for the year, so about the same. Let's go to Finviz and see what's going on in the last couple days, because it looks like what, yesterday?
Yeah, look at that.
So they had a dividend
They had a
like
dividend,
last
so
week
right.
of what was it? 18 cents.
Uh,
Um Scroll down, let's see. Okay, no earnings announced yet. But again, I think earnings, what is it? It's mid-March. So would that be like end of April is when a lot of these airlines and stuff will announce earnings. Um, okay, we have a bunch of upgrades recently. Jeffries, Argus, they're upgrading it. Again, you're going to have a lot of news. I feel like people are starting to talk about airline stocks again. I feel like there's
Well,
some
they
chatter.
were until this Boeing episode happened, and I
Yeah.
think that's the reason of its downward trend these last couple of days.
Yeah.
So if you look at this in the next 30 days and wait for Boeing to bottom out, I think the airlines are like Southwest. It's a very good run financial, a very good run company. It's going to be a great buy. Once they fix their airplanes, Southwest, it has a lot of Boeing airplanes up in the sky. I think I've read that they're going to reduce scheduling of airplanes or
Oh, really?
flights. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's going to go back up, like you said, once Boeing bottoms out, Boeing kind of dragged everyone else down with them, talking about airline stocks, and everyone's like, no, I don't want those. Those are, I think once that comes back and people start traveling again for, it's getting nice out. So,
Right.
you know, so we'll
But for
see.
that, yeah, but if you go and drop down those red volumes candlesticks
Oh
right next
yeah.
to the dividend,
Yeah.
you can tell people right now don't want to, be an owner of a Southwest, stock. They
Sure.
rather wait on the sideline, take their money out because they're unsure how far it is going to drop.
Yeah. And I don't think I could zoom in on that. Oh, that's about 40 million. 40
Yeah.
million in a day. Like, what do you
And one
guys?
day it said,
Okay,
I
so
want
what was
out.
that? That was
I
the
want out.
March 12th. So again, I could scroll down here and you could just see, yeah. So you could read all these articles on March 12th. So you'll see like a big jump. You could come back in time and be like, okay, what happened a couple days ago? And again, it's all Boeing. It's all talking about Boeing. So interesting. I'll click on the airlines here real quick and then click on charts, and it'll show me all the airlines. American Airlines,
American, there's
Dallas,
Delta. Yep,
Delta, right?
that's Delta,
Um,
JetBlue.
yeah, Hawaiian, JetBlue. Let's see. So Delta, so Delta's going up, almost
Right.
like inverted. So it's like, that's interesting. And you can see these red volume candles, like you said, like it tried to push it down, but no,
I shot back up again.
people are like, no, we love Delta. Delta's good. I like Delta. I don't know about their stock. I'm not recommending buying their stock, but I like Delta. So, all right. Third, what are we on? Fourth?
Yeah, number four. Let's go to real estate, or let's go to a company that builds houses. LEN,
Lennar. Yeah. Lennar or
Lennar.
whatever. I thought
Yeah.
you were gonna say Pulte Group.
Well, there's Pulte, and then we'll check the entire group. There's Pulte, there is DR Horton, and
Oh
you're
yeah.
going to see that if we do that, they're all traveling in the same direction.
Dude, what is this? Well, I already know
Well,
what this is about. This is because housing is so expensive, like
housing is
housing
so
is in demand.
expensive, and this hasn't stopped the home builders from building homes. And when you build a home, you're building them to sell them. So obviously they're doing both very well.
Yeah.
A bottom of 105 in October 27th, all the way up to 165 as of today. So the consumer, even with high interest rates, are still buying homes across the nation.
Yeah. Okay. So chart looks amazing since beginning of November.
Yeah,
Which lines up with what? Did that line up with well, that lined up with airlines, and I think that lined up with the credit cards too. Like there's a lot of, I don't know if there's a bubble or something happening, but there's a lot of upward movement, since November, which is great. If you're a shareholder, it's like, yes, we love upward movement, but at the same time, you have to like start taking your profits,
start
start saying,
taking the profits as we've discussed in the past.
nothing
I
goes
agree
up
with that.
forever. Man, look at
No,
that.
no.
All right.
So if so on this stock here, let's check the analysts and see if they're still thinking, oh yeah, they're still suggesting the stock. 10 strong buys. That's amazing.
Which is very interesting. Let me go up and look at this again. So we're like we were at 100 and we're at
I don't know.
165, and we got strong buys.
Right, still.
Uh yeah. And I mean, I think it's a bubble, but I think like real estate is also very strong. Like you said, these builders, they keep building them and people keep buying them no matter what the price. So, you know, 1 month performance up about 9%, 3 month for the quarter up about 14%, and for the year up about 67%. So we'll jump over to FinViz, and is it Lennar or Lennar?
A Lennar.
Yeah. All right.
And you can
So
see that this stock is still
yeah.
has a great support level from that November low to
Yep.
the 160 level. So
Earnings was good. Earnings was
earnings are
awesome
good.
for them. Yep. Huge. What is that, like 8 million volume in a day when it averages about, you know, 3 million a day. So
Yeah.
almost double the volume of that day. No. Okay. So they had earnings on March 13th. So they just had earnings, and there was no like sizable, trade, I guess, sizable
No,
price movement, no drop up or
drop
launch.
down. So
Nothing big here. No major news, and then scroll down. Some buying, some selling for insiders. Okay. Any last thoughts on this one?
no, on this one here, just looking at the entire sector, it seems like they're all, been up for the last, almost 4 months now. And like you mentioned the word bubble, eventually the stock's going to reach a point where it's going to hit resistance. The stock, maybe it's slowing down from 150 to 165, but the trend is still upward.
Yeah.
So, if you did buy it at 100, I would be thinking of at least taking some profits, so that way you could go, you could go ahead and make some money, and then ride ride the wave a little bit further if you think the stock's going to continue higher. Which right now I'm kind of skeptical. Can it go above to 170, 175? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, looking at these candles, they look very, very tiny candles. So, like you said, momentum, like it's great that they had positive earnings, and they had positive earnings a couple days ago or yesterday or whatever, today. But the candles are super weak. I think, in my opinion, I think 175 is the level to beat. So I think it'll continue up to 175 or maybe 180 before people, before it starts stalling, before it starts, hitting the resistance and then dipping and then coming back up, maybe a double top at 180, definitely at 200, I don't, who knows, but
And then if it does do that, it seems like the new support level is 150.
yeah,
As
definitely.
Danny mentioned, the short little trading range with small little candles, they're all in green. So people are still buying versus the red candles mean that they're selling.
Yeah.
So there's still buyers for this stock, and it's very concentrated from January through mid-February before it shot up again another $15.
Yeah.
And that's something to remember. Usually, technical patterns will repeat themselves, as you could see, where that stock was, forming a base, and then it shot up another $15. So I think you could be right. They could go from 165 to the 185, 190.
Yep. Let me click on residential construction right here at the top left, and then click on charts in the middle, and we'll see what residential construction is looking like. Actually, if I click here, overview, and then I sort by volume and then charts, then it'll show me the highest volume. So DR Horton, like you said, TriPoint, here's Pulte. Look at this,
Here's
dude.
Pulte.
November 1st.
Was for
Like,
it was a
what?
bottom for the entire sector.
I want to go back
So
in time to November 1st.
exactly, and say
Throw
I
all
want
my
to be a
money at this
buyer of this.
industry. Yeah.
But if you look at that chart, let's just
Dude.
pick any of these charts. If you scroll up, let's go look at a Toll Brothers or
Okay.
DH.
Toll Brothers, that's
Okay,
fine.
look at Toll. If you had a crystal
Wow.
ball, and if we were taping this back in November and we said go ahead and buy, you would probably hear this message, do your own research, and say buy. That's a downward trend.
Right.
What
Exactly.
does Peter and Daniel
You'd be like,
know
you're
that I don't
crazy.
know?
Yeah.
We don't. It was just, and then as a whole, the entire sector kind of reversed its momentum from a downward trend, and it's been upwards ever since, that time. So, sometimes the stock market, all the analysts could tell you everything you need to know, but so it's hard to pick a bottom and it's hard to pick a top of when to buy and when to sell. So that's where you have to determine your own trading strategy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay. Do you have another stock? We have about 10 minutes left, it looks
Let's
like.
go. Let's go to Home Depot, HD.
HD. I actually love shopping at Home Depot and I think it's a good company. So before I even look at their stock, because I haven't seen their stock in a few months, I think it's a solid company. Because I'm a shopper there. I have friends that shop there. It's the place to
So do
go, I
I.
think. So,
So do I.
all right. So, hey, there you go. But again, also builders, right? Like it kind of goes in line with the home
The
building,
entire
right? The
sector,
whole industry. Yeah.
homes, and this is post COVID. So I mean, people
Yeah.
started getting out in November. You're thinking November, that's after summer. But usually people in the summertime did all of their buying, and the earnings came in around that time probably, and it reflected that everybody was out and about in the summertime purchasing things for their home, and now the stock has gone up from that low of whatever 250 up all the way up to 378. So
Absolutely.
and
So,
almost straight up. So it's kind of,
yeah.
this is a great stock. If you bought then
Yeah.
and took somebody's advice and purchased it then, this would be kind of a good time to, take some profit taking.
Which is
As it,
interesting because we'll look at Lowe's. I don't know if you've seen Lowe's chart recently. I wonder what Lowe's is looking like because I feel like Lowe's may be struggling a little bit. I don't know,
and
but
it
we'll see
has,
what.
I think it's LOW, or I'm not sure what
Yeah,
Lowe's is.
we'll check it out. Strong
Yeah,
buy, 100% buy for bar charts rating of Home Depot. Scroll down to the middle. You got the pie chart here, which everyone's saying buy it. It's the best thing ever.
17. Yeah,
Which again, I always, take it with a grain of salt. 1 month price performance up about 6% for the quarter, up about 10%, and for the year, up about 32%. Over here to Home Depot. Wonder when their earnings is. Okay, they just had one about a month ago, and they did good. Looks like.
and they did
Um,
good.
yeah, they
Yeah.
has continue, and they did good here, and they kept going. Everyone's like, okay, good earnings. Let's keep it going. So, and again, resistance, dropped down, it retraced a little bit, and looks to be going back up. But again, don't take our advice. Don't be like, oh, Daniel said to buy it. Um,
Yeah. On this stock here, that uh, blue line that's going below the
yeah,
channel or below, that's a support level. So therefore, right now it's working its way up. So it hit the 370 and then it bounced up again. But it's going to reach a very a kind of an apex here a little bit. If it can, it should go up to 390 and then bounce back down.
yeah,
But
for
let's see
sure.
what direction it's going to go once it reaches that little point in time. Will this stock, still travel upward with the good earnings and it's paying a dividend, or will it finally take a break and come back down to maybe support level of 340?
Right. Their dividend is 225, and it's still above all the moving averages, above the 20, the 50, and the 200, just trending above that. So scroll down, some downgrades, but those are just haters, I think. And then you have, not much news happening. Scroll down, selling again across the board. I don't really care about selling, like, the insider trading lately. It's just across the board. Everyone's selling. No one's buying anything right now. Let's click on home improvement retail and let's just take a look real quick at the sector. Oh, wait, hold on. Overview. Nope. Volume. Put the most volume on top. Yeah, LOW. So
And
here's Lowe's. See,
number
Lowe's
one is
is
going to
doing
be
good.
Home Depot,
Yeah.
and second is going to be Lowe's. Well, I mean, it's not a bad chart there. I mean, Lowe's is right there in the upper right corner. It also bottomed out the same time. It almost has the same trading pattern, not as
Yeah.
steep. I agree. I agree with Daniel. Most people would go to Home Depot than a Lowe's. It's just been that way for years. But this stock was also a good investment if you would have bought then. Maybe a little more conservative. The price action is not as as quick or as wide as the Home Depot, but the stock still would have made you money.
Yeah, I always feel like Home Depot is more for the builders and Lowe's is for like people that want to decorate their homes or change things around. So it's like Home Depot, I feel, is more again for the builders, the contractors that are involved in that industry. and then Lowe's is more, you know, changing your appliances or changing your door frames or, you know, something like that. So, but yeah, both seem to be doing great, you know, of course. But yeah, it's a booming thing, you know, and I don't feel like it's a bubble. It could be, but I think, you know, I think there's a case to be made either way. Okay. What else? Anything else? We have
Yeah, I think
about
that's
a
it for
couple
today.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me pull up. Oh, I know what I could show you guys. If you click on FinViz and you click on groups on top, you could look at the sectors. And I love the sectors because you could see,
That's a
let's
good.
look at about the month, right? So basic materials is killing it for the month, and then energy, and then financial. Green across the board. Look at all these sectors just doing great, except for communication services. So, but again, sometimes that look at all this green. What is
It's still green. Yeah, exactly.
all green? I don't usually see that. Usually you'll see like some green, some red, and you could kind of, but yeah, the bulls must be here, you know. So, um, and then for the year, tech is up for the year. But again, we kind of knew that with Nvidia, right? Nvidia is carrying the market, and then financial,
AMD.
which is
Yeah,
interesting. You know, you have
that's
banks.
surprising.
It's very surprising. Um, but what do I know? What do we know? Okay, so that's it for this video. Again, let's go to, you can check out improveyourtrades.com/resources for stock analysis, tools, websites, platforms, all that stuff. Please like and subscribe if you like this video. Once again, for my dad, you know, just thanks for watching, and have a
Thanks
good
for
day.
watching, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.